Ladies and gentlemen, please let us rise up in honor of our chief guest and the faculty as they walk in. Ladies and gentlemen, and now welcome our KESRA Kenya School of Revenue Administration Head and Commissioner Dr. Fred Mugambi to constitute the 18th congregation. Dr. Ari?
Honorable CS, Chairman of the Board, Director Izao representing the Chairman, our Commissioner General, Board of Directors of the Kenya Revenue Authority, all our invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And now, by the powers vested in me as the Commissioner of the Kenya School of Revenue Administration by the Kenya Revenue Authority, I, on this 19th day of November 2021, hereby constitute the 18th congregation for the award of certificates and diplomas. Thank you.
Let us remain standing for the national anthem and the East African anthem. Let us remain standing for a prayer by Edmond Katana.
Let us believe and pray. Almighty and ever-living God, creator of heaven and earth, we come before you to
100 students are going to be receiving various certificates and diplomas today. Our chief guest, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, karibu sana to KRA. We're very happy and delighted to be hosting you today. Allow me to now acknowledge the host of guests who are present for your kind appreciation. Dr. Matiang'i, in the presence today, we have our Commissioner General, Mr. Gethi Mboro. There he is, karibu sana. We are also represented by our KRA board, represented by our chairman, others, our chief guests are joining us virtually. We also want to acknowledge in the presence is Mr. Larry Reed, Madam Damaris Kavoy, the Finance Director, University of Nairobi. Madam Kavoy, karibu sana. We also want to acknowledge the presence of Madam Helen Mureithi, the Director Corporate Services, TVETA CDACC. Madam Mureithi, I think, there you are, karibu sana. Also in our presence is Mr. Dismas Ogot, who is from the State Department for University Education and Research. There you are, welcome, sir. We also want to acknowledge Mr. Amos Gadesha, who is the Principal Secretary, National Treasury, Mr. Gadesha. Also want to acknowledge the presence of Professor Paul Wainaina, the Vice Chancellor of the Kenyatta University. Professor? There you are, Professor. Great to see you. Also want to make a special appreciation and an acknowledgement to Madam Professor Agnes Lando. Sister Lando, our chief guest, was my thesis reader. She was very tough, and I'm very happy to see her here. Welcome, Madam, from the Daystar University. Also want to acknowledge the presence of Madam Pamela Borough, the program specialist, U.S. Embassy. There you are, madam. Great to see you. Also want to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Keith Roberts, Export Control and Border Security Advisor at the U.S. Embassy. Welcome, Sam. Also want to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Japheth Ngeno, the Assistant Director, Accreditation, Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authority, TVETA. Mr. Ngeno, we want to appreciate you. Also joining us virtually is Mr. Olimo da Silva, who's the Program Manager for WCO, Mr. Elias Baluku, who is the Acting Executive Director, Federation of East Africa Freight Association, Madam Josephine Nyabeza, the Program Officer, Federation of East Africa Freight Association, and Dr. Nicholas Leting, the Secretary and CEO of KASNEB. Also, we have our board of directors who are also joining us virtually. I am informed Director Paul Isharia and Director Charles Omanga are also joining us virtually. We also just want to acknowledge the staff and the faculty of KESRA. If you are there, could you please wave your hands? We just want to say thank you and appreciate. And of course, how can we forget the graduating class of 2021? There you are. Please wave your hands. I know we can't see a smile through your masks, but we can see your eyes twitching. So twitch a little just to show your excitement. We're excited for you and our parents, our family members, our sponsors who are also joining us virtually. A little housekeeping rules for you. I am ably informed that this is a very secure environment, but just in case of any emergency, we've got 5 emergency exits. We've got 1 at the front, and then we've got 4 at the back. We've got our ER team and our ushers who are ready to usher you out. And our rooms of convenience for those who are visitors to this particular setting are outside to your this is my right, so it should be your left, and you will find your rooms. Is led by Chief Inspector Edward Muredi. Karibu. a warm round of applause for our AP band. Allow me, Chief Guest, to just quickly acknowledge the presence of our Director, Madam Marianne Njau Kimani. Madam Marianne, I think I saw you there. You are great to have you. Thank you, Madam, for honoring us with your presence. Our Commissioner for Customs and Border Control, Madam Lilian Nyawanda. Great to have you. Our Commissioner for Strategy, Dr. Omar. I think I saw you. Great to have you. Our Deputy Commissioner for Supply Chain Management, Madam Grace Mauricio. Asante Sana. Our Deputy Commissioner in charge of Marketing, Madam Grace Wandera. There you are. Karibu Sana. And our Deputy Commissioner in charge of Human Resources, Madam Patience Njao. Ladies and gentlemen, our Chief Guest, it now gives me great pleasure to now welcome our Commissioner and the head of the Kenya School of Revenue Administration, Dr. Fred Mugambi, to make his welcome remarks and thereafter welcome our Commissioner General.
Honorable CS Fred Matiang'i, Director Idao, Leonard Idao, representing our chairman, my boss and our Commissioner General, Githi Mboro, all members of the board of governance of the Kenya Revenue Authority, the management board of the Kenya School of Revenue Administration. We have a number of invited guests. We honor you, and we look forward to having you in many of our events. And so, Honorable CS, I will not take too much time. We are cognizant of the fact that you have a very tight schedule today. And so, all that I'm going to do is invite you to the Kenya School of Revenue Administration, and look forward to having you many, many more times. And so, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, allow me to invite the Commissioner General to come forward and give his remarks. Thank you.
Chief Guest, the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Interior and National Coordination of the National Government, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, Vice Chancellors and Chancellors present here today, our KRA Chairman, Board Chairman represented by Engineer Ithao, Directors and Chief Executives of various institutions present here today, our distinguished guests, the KRA staff, fraternity, the graduates present here today, good morning. I am delighted to welcome you all to the Kenya School of Revenue Administration's 18th graduation ceremony. This day is a testament of the hard work that all of you graduates have put in throughout your studies at KESRA. We are therefore happy to celebrate this important milestone in your academic as well as career journeys. This year's graduation theme is building capacity to enhance revenue collection and trade facilitation. I would like to applaud the KESRA management for implementing strategies to support teaching and learning as a key component of Kenya's transformation journey. From the foundations of a small unit in our human resource department less than 10 years ago, KESRA has grown to become a continental level school which hosts the Academy, the Africa Academy of the OECD for Tax and Financial Crimes Investigations, and the World Customs Organization Regional Training Center for East and South Africa. Just 5 years ago, KESRA was only running short courses for less than 400 KRI staff every year. Now the school runs an array of programs all the way from certificate to master's levels, both internally and through partnerships. This year, the school will train upward of, I was almost talking about money. And I was wondering how little this money is. You know, I'm used to very serious money in the trillions. And I'm happy that our distinguished guests who contribute to these taxes are here today. So it is not Kenya shillings. It is upwards of 6,000 KRI staff and 1,400 professionals in the private and public sector. Last year, the school trained 5,273 KRI staff and 1,300 professionals supporting KRI's efforts in the areas of revenue mobilization, trade facilitation, and border security. Since last year, we have reported exceptional revenue performance, and this is attributed to various efforts made by the authority, including a deliberate and focused investment in capacity building for our officers. We will continue to support the school to build necessary physical as well as human capacity so that it can train more and better. Last year, we revamped the E-Academy, and as a result, we are now able to reach all our staff across the country with training interventions. We will continue reviewing the curriculum and to better meet the needs of our staff and the market. Before I close my remarks, I would like to urge the school to focus more on the emerging areas that the country is grappling with, such as taxation of the digital economy and data analytics, emerging economic blocks, and their effect on tax and trade taxation of small enterprises. Tax-based expansion, leadership ethics, and integrity, among others. To the graduates, I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. I sat where you are sitting many years ago, and I must have felt the way you are feeling. I'm not sure. So as you head on to pursue other interests, remember that this is not the end of your academic journey. You must consistently quench the thirst of knowledge, as this is ultimately the defining characteristic of triumph. On behalf of KRI senior leadership and KESRA Governance Board, I wish to encourage you once again. I wish to congratulate you once again and wish you the very best in all your future endeavors. Thank you very much. Good, thank you very much. I would now like, by the way, before we make any tax demand, we consult. Just the way you have seen us consulting here. And before we close any major account, we also consult. Just the way we are consulting here, so that things can go on well. So let me now invite Engineer Ithao, who is representing our chairman, to just come and greet you and make a few remarks. and then thereafter I shall invite the chief guest.
Thank you very much, Commissioner General. My name is Engineer Leonard Ithao, a member of the board of the Kenya Revenue Authority, and I stand here on behalf of our chairman, Ambassador Dr. Francis Mudaura, who could not be with us today, but he sends his warm regards and congratulations to the graduates. And so I will read his speech to you this morning. Our chief guest, the CS Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, Honorable Dr. Fred Matiang'i, distinguished guests, KRA board members present, management and staff of KRA, parents and guardians, esteemed graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Today marks a very important day as we celebrate the 18th graduation ceremony of the Kenya School of Revenue Administration, KESRA. This institution has made great strides since its inception, and especially so in the last 5 years, by repositioning and reinventing itself to be a regional learning center of excellence in all tax and customs matters. As a regional training center for the World Customs Organization, KESRA has also implemented several training programs, both for the country and for the region. This institution continues to strengthen its strategic partnerships, both locally and internationally, in order to advance its capacity building initiatives. I note with satisfaction the impressive capacity and partnerships that the school continues to build. For instance, and utilizing this capacity, the school recently successfully hosted the 6th African Tax Research Network Congress, which brought together participants from over 70 countries. Further, our local and international partnerships continue to bear immense fruits. For instance, through our partnership between KESRA and the Kenya Defense Forces, over 120 senior KRA staff have attended senior leadership programs at the KDF. In addition, KESRA and KDF are running a three-week program for the assistant managers. These partnerships are very important and should be encouraged. I would like to thank the Commissioner General and the KRA management for the great strides that the school has achieved. The board shall continue to support the school to achieve even greater heights. Our goal is to build the right depth of capacity needed by KESRA to position the school at the apex of tax and customs training in the African continent. I am aware that the school has upgraded its training significantly and now is able to train a big number of KRA staff every year. We are hopeful that by the end of the current corporate plan, the school will be training all KRA staff every year. To the graduates who are physically present here and those virtually, the pursuit of knowledge is infinite. We must constantly reinvent ourselves through continuous learning of new skills and adapt ourselves to the new situations. the ability and your ability to adjust, to evolve, and develop skills, and at the same time embrace change as we huddle through life's challenges will determine our success, both professionally and on a personal level. Graduates, you must strive to build your resilience, as this will help you process and overcome the many challenges that life may throw your way. Remember that with all these experiences, there are always life lessons to be learned. And with knowledge comes power, and with power comes responsibility. You are the future of this great nation, and we are relying on you, the youth, to enhance national economic development through innovative approaches. As you are aware, the economy is slowly recovering from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we therefore need radical strategies that will catapult the economy to greater heights. And all of this shall come from you. On behalf of the Kenya Revenue Authority Board, I wish you the best of luck as you begin the next phase of your lives. In the words of Mark Twain, and I quote, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than the ones that you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor. Catch the trade winds in your sails. Explore, dream, discover. Thank you. Congratulations to all of you, and best wishes. With these few remarks, I now wish to invite our chief guest, Honorable Dr. Fred Matiang'i, CS Ministry of Interior and Coordination of the National Government, to make his remarks. Thank you, sir.
Chairman and members of the board of the Kenya Revenue Authority, the Commissioner General, management and staff of KRA, my colleagues from the academy, the vice chancellors who are here, senior government officials, my colleagues from the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, colleagues from the private sector, parents and guardians, esteemed graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Commissioner General, the last time I was here for a function, must say there's something unusual about KRA. I started my speech in the manner I'm going to start this one too. Because I came for a function, it was some taxi week or something. At that time I was Cabinet Secretary for ICT. I went to the office of the then Commissioner General, and he insisted with the senior staff that I wear a KRA shirt. I grudgingly agreed to wear a KRA shirt. But when I came here, I had to start, in the interest of full disclosure and social transparency, I had to start by saying, my wife, if you are watching me, please note that I did not change this shirt anywhere between our house and here. I actually changed my shirt in the office of the Commissioner General. I do not have a house or a place I can change a shirt between our house and town. When you invited me to this function, you didn't tell me I would require to wear a full gown. So again today, when I arrived here, you told me it's a graduation ceremony, So we are going to be in full graduation dress. So again, I am forced to say this. My wife, if you are watching this, I didn't wear this gown anywhere between our house and town. I wore it in the office of the Commissioner General, Mr. Mburu. And you need any more evidence, please write to him. I do not have a house between town and here where I would change and wear a gown. And if he had warned me, I would have actually carried my own gown so that you know for sure when I left home that I was going to go to a function of this kind. Anyway, that's that. Good friends, thank you so much, Commissioner General, for inviting me, and thank you, members of the board, for the wonderful work that you do. Long time ago, as we were growing up, well, long time ago as such, but for a long time, people thought that the business of KRA and collection of taxes and so on is very routine and pedantic business that doesn't require a lot of research and capacity development and so on. The world has changed, and I want to start by saying this. Commissioner General, members of the board, and KRA, I am one of the Kenyans who are extremely proud of KRA because of the work you do. This is a serious organization. And you know, I am not famous for playing games. Serious people who do serious work like yourselves deserve to be seriously appreciated. I am grateful, and as a member of government, I should be, that in the last 1 year or so, we have noticed tremendous growth and improvement in the work of the Kenya Revenue Authority. You have surpassed targets in certain cases. This is testament to good leadership, good management, focus, and effective management of the work that you do. And sincerely, we should be grateful. So I thank you so much for the work that you do for our great country and for the contribution you make to the work that we do. But while I do that again, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I have to thank you because we collaborate across the board. One reason why I'm here today is because the Kenya Revenue Authority is one of our great collaborators in the ministry that I head, the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government. Our border points and our multi-agents teams that we work with across the borders benefit a lot from the strength, the resourcefulness, and the capacity of the Kenya Revenue Authority. And we have noticed that because of the good work that you do, we have become stronger in manning some of our entry points. We have become stronger in tracking down some of the criminals that we look for around across our borders. So thank you so much again for the work that you do. And actually, now I know the secret. The secret is this continuous training and investment in capacity building, such as you do at KESRA. No doubt, of course, that KRA occupies a very important space insofar as funding of government projects and government activities is concerned. So if KRA is not effective in what you do, nothing else in government will be effective because we depend on the work you do to fuel the work that the rest of us do. And when you do it well, we benefit and we are grateful for what you do. I take cognizance of the strides that KESRA has made, as outlined by both the Commissioner General and the Chair of the Board, and more so in the contribution that KESRA is making to capacity building across government. I was gratified this morning to note, Commissioner General, I didn't know until I arrived here, that actually you don't train only your staff, you are also open to build capacity for others in government. And this is very helpful because some of the challenges we face in government institutions are related to ignorance, real or feigned, and that's why sometimes we lose resources. So it's gratifying to note. In fact, if it was within my powers, I would now begin insisting that people who handle certain functions in government must go through KESRA. so that we sort ourselves out. Because look, let's not lie to ourselves. You know, capacity building is critical to the work that we do, and if we are going to move forward and deal with the complex environment in which we operate and hope to do better, we have to invest heavily in building the capacities of our people. And I'm also positively surprised that you have a strong collaboration with our KDF guys, because I've also insisted recently that the school that KDF runs up in Karen provides very useful and valuable training for our senior government officials. So imagine if we sustained a partnership between that school and KESRA and insisted that mid-level officials of government go through that training before they move to the next level. We will then have well-trained, well-tooled public servants who not only understand how resources are supposed to be managed, but they understand the tax systems and they can help wananchi as they serve them as they move forward, as it were. I am not actually very sure that I soon will not be persuading some of my colleagues in cabinet that we try to insist that at a certain level of government, officers must be trained through this process, because that is how we will have them. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I've said, revenue mobilization is critical. Without it, we cannot run government. Because everywhere you go in this country, people ask us questions about the government should do this, do that, and do the other. Government doesn't have its own money. Government draws from revenue resources. And an efficient Kenya Revenue Authority is a pillar to delivery of development by government. I am grateful that so many of our agencies are now taking seriously the work that you do and are willing to collaborate as we go forward. I want to turn to the graduates and let them know, because many of them predominantly I asked are young people. Everyone will tell you this is the beginning of the journey, not the end of it. You have just completed but a small phase of it. Much of it lies ahead of you. And please do not forget the principles and the value systems that have been inculcated through what KESRA has done. If the management and the leadership of KRA is anything to go by, especially in its recent, very impressive performance, then it means that as a country, we are on our way to developing an institution that will ground our young people in the public service in the right value systems and in the right attitude to public service. And it will ground our young people in the trajectory that we want to take this country. On my own behalf and on behalf of my colleagues in government, I cannot thank you enough, Chairman and the board, my friend Mburu, the Commissioner General, for such a fantastic job and what you are doing here. And I hope that when I make a pitch, as I am going to my cabinet colleagues, that we now begin to demand that officers of government at a particular cadre come here, you will have the requisite capacity and you'll be ready to train them so that we can reduce the number of Shylocks in public service, reduce the number of voucher kiting experts in the public service, so that we can have a public service that is retooled and totally ready to provide support to our economy and to our wonderful country. Finally, my friends, it's things like this that build a country. I have had occasion to listen to some of our very respectable elders, like the chairman of the board, Francis Mudaura, people who have served this country with distinction and commitment. I've taken counsel and advice from some of these people. And then the insistence from this group of people that our country is going to be built by ourselves, by patriotic, visionary, focused actions, such as KRA is engaged in, by setting a tradition of patriotism competence and effectiveness in delivering services. And so what we are doing here today is one of those things that gives you a lot of hope and encouragement. And as a Kenyan, and you feel nice to be in our country. We are doing a lot of good stuff. And KRA, you're making all of us proud. And so, besides saying congratulations to the graduates, I wish you all the best. And Commissioner General and your wonderful team of staff, I pray that the Lord strengthens your hand for the good work ahead. Thank you.
I believe our chief guest deserves a better hand clap than that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just rise and give honor where honor is due, and let's appreciate our chief guest, Dr. Fred Matiang'i. Let's do a very warm round of applause for your words of wisdom. Thank you, sir. You may now take your seats. Thank you very much, sir, for your very inspiring words of wisdom. Indeed, we are a very serious organization led by a very serious leadership, and we are very serious students. And thank you, sir, for recognizing that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now that great moment to transition into the conferment of the awards of the certificates and the diplomas. But just before we do that, our chief guest, can we have the administration police lead us in just one nice hot number, just to get us into the mood for about just a few minutes, and then we move on. As they get ready, allow me to just acknowledge the presence of Mr. Roy Mwanthi, who's the national chairman of the Kenya International Freight and Warehousing Association. Great to see you, Mr. Mwanthi, and Madam Catherine Mpayei, who is representing our Commissioner for Investigations and Enforcement. The Administration Police Band, please go ahead. Excellent, Makofi Tafadhali. Thank you very much, Chief Inspector Edward Mureithi and the Administration Police Band. Our fellow graduates, I'm not a fellow graduate, our graduates and faculty and our chief guest, it is now my great pleasure to welcome back Dr. Fred Mugambi, who is the head of the Kenya School of Revenue Administration, to take over now the formal part, well, the second part of this program, which is the conferment of the 625 graduates to get their certificates and their diplomas. Daktari, karibu sana.
Honorable CS, the chairman of the board, represented by Engineer Leonard Idao, directors of the board, our Commissioner General, we are now, and of course our other invited guests, we are now getting into that very important moment when we are going to recognize our 625 graduates who are graduating today in various diplomas and certificates. Just before we get into that process, I want to mention that we are altering the program a bit in the interest of the CSA's schedule, and therefore we are going to go through the entire list of the graduates, and then we are going to award towards the end. And so, ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to invite our Deputy Commissioner, Academic Affairs, Dr. Emma Omwenga, to present to us the graduates.
Thank you, Commissioner, and good morning. My name is Emma Omwenga, Deputy Commissioner, Academic Affairs in the Syria School, Kenya School of Revenue Administration. I'm now here to present the graduates, and I start with a citation of the best student, the overall student, to be awarded by the chief guest. Chief guest, Chairman of Kenya Revenue Authority Board, Directors, Commissioner General, invited guests, faculty, staff, ladies and gentlemen, during the academic year 2020-2021, Saidi Congo JD of East Africa Customs Freight Forwarders Practicing Certificate, ESC FFPC course, satisfied the school's academic board for the Chief Guest Award for his devotion to academic excellence and positive non-academic activities. Saidi Congo is a graduate from the ESC FFPC program who has exhibited outstanding leadership, selfless service, sterling academic performance. With regards to leadership, Saidi modeled the democratic, participative style of leadership and was instrumental in influencing his fellow students towards positive courses of action in the school. Saidi's virtues of humility and optimism made him exemplary in his willingness to service. The Kenya School of Revenue Administration Academic Board, therefore, takes pride in awarding Mr. JD this accolade of overall student. This award entails a plaque, a certificate, and a scholarship worth Kenya shillings 100,000 to study any course of choice at KESRA within 1 year. I now call upon the chief guest to present the award to Saidi. Well done, Saidi. Chief guest. Thank you.
Sorry for that short interlude that I'm coming in here again to talk. I've just been informed that the CS actually would is requesting to leave in the next few minutes because of another urgent. You know, our CS is anywhere and everywhere. So he has now been asked to go everywhere. And so I want to invite the Commissioner General to just say a word to the CS and also award the CS a small gift so that we can release the CS and then we can continue with the rest of the program.
Thank you very much. Indeed, our CS, as you all know, is very busy, and we are glad to release him. He has already said everything good about us. Everything. So we are glad to release him to go. He has honored us with his presence, and indeed, we remain grateful as KESRA. We will pursue that offer very, very aggressively, like we do pursue taxes. So he cannot run away, he has committed. So we are going to pursue that one. CS, I now want to present our gift to you.
Person who is organizing
our Chief Commissioner General, in fact the entire podium that's at the front, and we will have that moment. Make your way to the front. For legal. Thank you, Dr. Omar. Thank you, Madam Rispa, Madam Nyawanda. I think the photo is done. We can now take the second part of the photo. Thank you, sir. Yes, I do. Kindly join them on board. Ensure that everyone is captured by the camera. Can we have the KESRA Senior Management to please quickly make their way to the stage? KESRA Senior Management, if you are here. KESRA Senior Management, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. KESRA Senior Management, come to the front a little bit so that we can all fit into the picture. Okay, This is now the photo with the KESRA senior management. I see our camera team. Thank you very much. I think that photo is taken. Our chief guest, if I would kindly just request you, this is a very special moment for all of us. So all of us want to be in your picture. So our camera crew will get onto the stage, and then, as our CG is explaining, we're going to take a full house photo with our camera crew on stage. And everybody please take to your stand. Excellent. We will try and capture as many people as is possible in this particular photo. So camera crew, please take that photo. So this is for everybody. If we could dim the lights, the flag lights kindly. All right. We're trying to take a full house photo, panning through the entire room. We can take a panorama, that would be great. And I think may I kindly implore that we move a little bit on this side so that this side also takes. On this side, our chief guest, we've got our faculty, we've got our distinguished guests. Thank you so much. Can we have the flag light switched off, please?